It's Doctor Who DVD review time. For today's review, I shall be taking a look at the Black Guardian Trilogy. A trilogy which was first released onto DVD in 2009. I remember back in 2009 in HMV stores, this was all over the shelves, brand new. You know, back then, times were so much simpler, and now it just all seems like a distant memory. But not forgotten. Anyway, enough of that. Let's take a look at this DVD. Of course, some of you will know this came as a part of the 20th season of Classic Who. In every story of this season, we had a returning foe, no matter what era it was from. So, in Arc of Infinity, you had Omega. In Snake Dance, you had the Mara. And for this trilogy, you had that bloke with the weird crow on his head. What was his name again? He was called the Black Guardian. This is the Black Guardian Trilogy. The Black Guardian, of course, making his first appearance in Doctor Who as a part of the Key to Time season. I've already reviewed that season on DVD, so if you haven't seen that review, then check that out. I know, shameless plug alert, right? So without further ado, let's take a look at the box art for this box set. And you can't really tell right now, but believe me, I am telling you the truth. There are roundels in the background of this. If I just move this a little bit, you might be able to see a little bit more of the text and everything like that. It's just so dark, you can't really tell. For the average viewer looking at this right now, it probably just looks like a plain black box set. But believe me, there are roundels in the background, just like most of the other DVD releases of these box sets that the BBC have done down the years. But of course, you can see the nice Doctor Who logo and the title of the box set. In the middle, you've got the Black Guardian, the Fifth Doctor, and Turlough just chilling out there, just, you know, minding their own business. The Fifth Doctor looks a bit concerned-like, but then again, he always did in most of his stories. And here it just tells you like more information. It's a 4-disc set. It's a PG. It contains 3 stories: Mawdryn Undead, Terminus, Enlightenment, and for some reason, Enlightenment Special Edition. And the description reads: Turlough arrives, Nyssa departs, and the Black Guardian returns to wreak his revenge in these 3 classic Fifth Doctor adventures! Exclamation mark. So yeah, that is your front cover, and there is the side. So very nice overall, I've got to say that. It's very nice. That's the back, so it's pretty much the same as the front. The top just says Doctor Who Black Guardian Trilogy, and there you've just got all your usual crap what you see on all these DVDs, box sets made by the BBC. And there is where you would find the 3 DVD cases for these stories. But if you know me so well, then you know that I display these box sets on a different shelf to my DVD cases for the stories. Speaking of the DVD cases for the stories, let's actually take a look at them. So I'll move this out of the way for now. First off, Mawdryn Undead. The story which saw the return of one of the most iconic, best characters in all of Doctor Who history. And I know I may have sounded sarcastic there, but believe me, what I am saying is the truth. I am, of course, talking about the Brigadier, Alistair Gordon Lethbridge-Stewart, played by the late, great Nicholas Courtney. If only he could have seen what Doctor Who would have become beyond his passing. We had the amazing hype, which was the 50th anniversary, and we've had more of Matt Smith. We had Peter Capaldi's Doctor, and now for the first time ever, we've got a female Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, and my god, the fandom is so split up. Anyway, we'll talk about that another time. This DVD cover is quite decent. You have this weird vortex in the background, which reminds me a lot of the Third Doctor's first intro. You have two Brigadiers here, because there are two Brigadiers. Basically, if you see the story, you'll understand this front cover a bit more. You have Turlough, you have the Fifth Doctor, and you have all of these people here in the background, because they play quite a key part later on in the story. One little detail which I quite like about this, I don't know why they chose to do this, I guess they just thought, yeah, just do it. The bottom is gold. Yeah, I know. I did tell you, I did warn you that it was a minor detail. Well, weird with those sort of things. The spine's not much to go about. I mean, to the average viewer, that just looks plain black. There's a little bit of stuff going on there, but nothing much. It just tells you the title of the story anyway. And this story was written by Peter Grimwade. If I recall, Peter Grimwade, he wrote one of the worst stories of all time, Time Flight. Just stay away from that story. Turlough may look like a normal pupil at a boys' boarding school, but is actually an alien from another planet. And when the menacing Black Guardian asks him to kill the Doctor in return for a trip home, the boy quickly agrees. By coincidence, Turlough's maths teacher is an old friend of the Time Lords. But why doesn't the Brigadier remember that? The Doctor, along with his friends Tegan and Nyssa, is about to find out. Now, the special features for this include commentary by Peter Davison, Mark Strickson, Nicholas Courtney, and script editor Eric Saywood. Who Wants to Live Forever? Reminds me of that Queen song. Cast and crew look back at the making of this story. Liberty Hall, a new drama in which a journalist travels to Brendan's school to interview Brigadier Lethbridge-Stewart. Deleted and extended scenes, film trims taken from the location filming, including clapperboards and cast and the crew setting up and performing various takes. We've got outtakes, new CGI effects, and we have the continuity, which was the original BBC One continuity announcement, studio floor plans, which you need as PC or Mac to see, CGI storyboards, which you need a DVD-ROM or PC Mac to see. You have Radio Times listings, which you need a DVD-ROM or PC Mac to see. Yeah, I'm sounding really repetitive. You know where I'm going with this. But you've also got an isolated score, production information, subtitles, photo gallery, Easter eggs, a coming soon trailer, and you've guessed it, a digitally remastered picture and sound quality. The original broadcast dates for this was between the 1st and 9th of February 1983. This was 4 parts long, but of course you got to remember, back at this part of Doctor Who history, it was broadcast twice weekly, so it was broadcast over 2 weeks, basically. It was produced by John Nathan Turner, directed by Peter Moffat, and not to be confused with the Moffats like Stephen Moffat, and I suppose, well, Peter Davison is technically Peter Moffat as well, and there's a Georgia Moffat as well, who's Peter Davison's daughter. We got the sleeves text by Maury Lang and cover by Clayton Hickman, and the runtime is 98 minutes approx. That's the inside, gives you more info about this, and that is your disc, which ironically looks like the front cover for this DVD. Overall, though, I've got to say, on a serious note, the special features for this are awesome. It's a really good DVD release, and the story itself, to be quite honest with you, is decent. It's not a favourite of mine, but it's not terrible like Time Flight. Peter Grimwade actually did a good job with this. Although I will always say that he was probably a better director than a writer for Doctor Who. So overall, yeah, Mawdryn Undead, it gets a seal of approval from me. Next up, we're going to talk about the DVD for Terminus. And Terminus, of course, is also known as like the end sort of thing. But anyway, front cover, you've got Nyssa at the centre. It's Nyssa's final story and it's quite sad really, because on television Nyssa was quite an underused companion. Let's be honest, she was really underused, she was so wasted. But I liked her, so I'll give them that. She was likeable, but yeah, not memorable like Sarah Jane or Joe Grant or, Jamie McCrim and companions like that. Yeah, here you've just got like two dudes from the story, and I can't even remember their names. Yeah, it says a lot then, doesn't it, about this story. So yeah, overall though, front cover, quite decent. And once again, yeah, the spine, it just looks completely black. And this was written by Steve Gallagher. Now, bit of trivia for you here. I saw Steve Gallagher a few years ago at this thing that was done at my university, and he gave a talk about his time writing for Doctor Who. He only wrote two stories. He wrote this one, and before this he wrote Warrior's Gates. I will say that this story is more simple than Warrior's Gates, but do I think it's as good? Well, you're going to find that out just in a minute. Still under the malign influence of the Black Guardian, Turlough sabotages the TARDIS, placing the Doctor and his companions in grave danger. Nyssa disappears through an unstable interface with a nearby space liner, and the Doctor begins a desperate search for her aboard the ship. When the liner docks at Terminus, a space station at the exact centre of the universe, the horrific truth starts to emerge. It may already be too late to save Nyssa's life, and the existence of the entire cosmos is now in peril. Special features include a commentary by Peter Davison, Mark Strickson, Sarah Sutton, and writer Stephen Gallagher. Breaking Point, cast and crew look back at the making of this story, origins of the universe. Sir Patrick Moore and Dr. John Mason take a look at the science behind the Big Bang and the origins of the universe. Original storyboards, production storyboards for the spaceship sequences, unused model shots, a selection of used takes from the model effects shoot, and we have new CGI effects, radio times listings, which you need a DVD-ROM or PC Mac, isolated score, production information, subtitles, photo gallery, Easter egg, coming soon trailer, and digitally remastered picture and sound quality. This story was originally broadcast on BBC One between the 15th and 23rd of February 1983. Produced by John Nathan Turner, directed by Mary Ridge. So for once it was a female director. And sleeve text by Sue Corley, and again cover by Clayton Hickman. Runtime is 98 minutes again, and yeah, that's your leaflet. Gives you some information regarding the departure of this woman here, Nyssa. Yeah, overall, Terminus is a very forgettable story in my eyes. Yeah, I mean, Steve Gallagher, of the two stories they've done, I'd probably say that Warrior's Gates is definitely the better of the two. Terminus, while the idea sounds really good, the execution is just very poor. I mean, this, when you see this move around, it's just so laughable. There's a lot of things that are really laughable in this story. Nyssa does some really weird things with her clothes. She starts undressing halfway through this story. It's quite odd, and it never really gets explained that much, like why she does it. But again, another little bit of trivia for you here. This is one of the earliest stories that I remember, because I remember seeing this story on UK Gold, as it was known back then, and I remember just very vaguely seeing the cliffhanger to part 3, and I believe it was like an omnibus version of this story, because there was no breaks in between or anything like that. It was just in all one go on a Saturday morning, just all those years ago. I think it was either around 2005 or 2006. So I was very new to Doctor Who because I started with Doctor Who in 2005, but I vaguely remember, and all these years later I've seen the story and I thought, oh yeah, it's this story, isn't it? And yeah, I must admit, it looked better when I was a kid. Now it just looks really cheap. So yeah, overall, story's not that great. Special features though, they're pretty decent. The Patrick Moore thing is worth a watch, so I highly recommend that. Next up is the final story of this box set, Enlightenment, and this includes 2 discs because the second disc has a special edition. Why we have a special edition for this story, I'll never know. But anyway, just get on with this. So we have Tegan in the middle this time. We have the Black Guardian yet again, and we have the 5th Doctor, and we have the ship in space. Yeah, it's just whatever happens in this story, really. And they've gone for like a bright blue look for this story, which I guess fits. You get to see a bit more space on the spine there, so I'll give them marks for that. Oh my god, look at the amount of special features here. This was written by Barbara Clegg. Materialising on an Edwardian sailing yacht, the Doctor and his companions find themselves caught up in a mysterious and deadly race. The prize is enlightenment, the wisdom to find your heart's desire, and it quickly becomes clear that one of the crews will let nothing and no one stop them claiming victory, as the Black Guardian pressures Turlough to complete his side of the murderous pact. It seems that the Doctor may not survive to cross the finish line. Special features, and just take a sec, just look at this. Look at the amount of special features we got here, with our standard edition for disc 1 and our special edition for disc 2. It's mental. We have a commentary yet again by Peter Davison, Mark Strickson, and we have a commentary by writer Barbara Clegg and director Fiona Cumming. You know, it's very rare back in the day that we had both a female writer and director for the same story, so it was pretty eventful back then. I believe it might have been the first time that this ever happened in Doctor Who as well. Winner takes all. What is it with these special feature titles taking off the names of songs? We already had one with a Queen song earlier on. All cast and crew look back at the making of the story, basically. We have casting off an actor's view of working on Doctor Who. Single female writer Barbara Clegg looks back on her career. We have the story of the Guardians, investigating who or what the Guardians really are. Quite an interesting one. Storyboards, a dual angle feature with visual effects supervisor Mike Kelt, isolated score, photo gallery, radio times listings, which you need a DVD-ROM or PC Mac, production information, subtitles, a coming soon trailer, and digitally remastered picture and sound quality. Now on to disc 2, special editions, special features. We have feature-length version, a totally new edit of the story featuring 5.1 surround sound and new CGI effects, overseen by original director Fiona Cumming. We have Re-Enlightenment. The production team for the new version discussed their approach. Original edit comparison, a comparison of the original opening of Part 3 and the transmitted one. Film trims. Finding Mark Strickson. Mark Strickson looks back over his acting career. Finding Sarah Sutton. Sarah Sutton looks back on her acting career. We have Russell Harty's Christmas Party, which was a 1982 Christmas show featuring Peter Davison. And we have continuity, original BBC One continuity announcements, PDF material for the Radio Times, Doctor Who 20th Anniversary Special, and the Doctor Who Office Production Bible, which you need a DVD-ROM or PC Mac. This story was originally broadcast on BBC One between the 1st and 9th of March 1983. Once again, like all the others in this box set, this is a 4-parter. Produced by John Nathan Turner, directed by Fiona Cumming. And guess what the runtime is? It's 98 minutes. And guess who did the cover for this story? It was Clayton Hickman. And guess who did the liner text? Well, actually, different people do it. This one was Sue Crowley. Here is the information leaflet. That's your disc 1, and it says 4-part version, so this is what I've got back in the day. And that's part 2. And I've got to say, this 2 is quite nice because it has a different image as opposed to just the same image with a different colour, like we get a lot sometimes with these 2-disc releases. So overall, I really like how they did that, and it's a different colour as well, so yeah. Overall, Enlightenment. Oh my god. Was there any point in building up to this story after the 2 stories we got? We got a pretty good story with Mawdryn Undead, easily the best story of the box set. Then we got Terminus, which was easily forgettable. Then this comes along, and it's one of the worst Doctor Who stories ever made. Yeah, I know, I really hate saying bad things about my favourite TV show, but it's got to be said. There really was a lot of stinkers, particularly in this era. Enlightenment, it doesn't get my seal of approval at all, in any shape or form. So sorry to all of you Enlightenment fans. And yeah, it just makes me wonder like why we got a special edition of this as well. Does it really make the story that much better? Does it fix all the bad writing? No, it doesn't. And the conclusion to this, it's easily one of the worst conclusions to a Doctor Who story that I have ever seen. And bearing in mind, this is the end of the trilogy. We've had all of this leading up to this story. The whole conclusion of this Black Guardian Trilogy is just shit. It is absolute shit. So yeah, story... yeah, definitely don't get the box set for this story. However, the big saving grace for this DVD is definitely the special features. I think that the special features on this DVD release are the best special features probably out of this entire box set. So it's like you've got all your pros and cons for this. You've got the worst story, but you get the best special features with this. So it's like they go hand in hand when they're not supposed to. It just really, really sucks that this is what happens. Yeah, it's really got to be said, Enlightenment, it's just crap. Just stay away from this story. I just really didn't like it. I know a few do like this story, and some would probably say that Terminus is worse than this. But honestly, if you had to choose between the two, I'd go Terminus all day, every day. So there, that's it. That is the Black Guardian Trilogy. A really mixed bag, if I'm honest with you. I mean, the 3 stories, it's just 3 stories, isn't it? That just has the Black Guardian Trilogy. That is literally what it is. And one of them's shit, one of them is just forgettable, and one of them's good. So, do I recommend getting this box set straight away if you're just starting off with your Doctor Who collection? Absolutely not. I think that this is... it's just there to exist, really. It's just a thing to complete your collection. If there's one reason to pick up this box set, then I'd say for Mawdryn Undead and for the special features. That's it. That is all I can say. That is the nicest thing that I can say for this box set. Because honestly, it's just a weird one for me. So yeah, that's all I can say. really, about this DVD box set. Of course, though, if you really love these stories, then fair enough. But for me, it's just one of those box sets. That's it.